All right, you guys ready? Are you excited? That says, oh, fix my headphones here. Here we go.
Live.
From the Queen City studio.
With the Deacon Live.
Right now. Ready? Yes.
Welcome back, guys. On today's show, another installment of Bad Calls. Don't you want... Nah, I fucked up. Try it again. Hold on. Fucking headphones. $20. That's all I need. $20 for another set of headphones. Here we go. Little cord gets a little old. Let's try it again.
Live.
From the Queen City studio.
With the Deacon Live.
Right now. Ready? Yes.
Welcome back, guys. On today's show, another installment of Bad Calls. Don't want to run from the storm? Well, put your butt into the wind. Prophet Radio has done it again, and a new game, Hurricane Edition, called Is It Real? All this and much, much more here on Deacon Live. Welcome back, guys. Welcome. I'm hoping that you guys are surviving the storm here. I'm hoping that you guys are getting along. You know, your house is all boarded up. And, you know, the best thing about, if there is a best thing about being in a storm, a hurricane storm, is you board up the house. And when you board up the house, there is absolutely no light that comes in the house. Now, it does one of two things. If you didn't lose power, the AC, you could set that thing on 82 degrees, especially in Florida, and it'll feel like a freaking ice box in your house. But the only problem is there is absolutely no light that comes in your house. So you can't tell if it's daytime or nighttime. I've seen pictures and videos of people going... You know, I've cleaned the house 15 times. I've rearranged my pantry 4 times. You know, I threw away this. I redid my sock drawer. I redid my underwear drawer. I went through all my bathing suits and stuff. I mean, there's a lot of idle time when you're sitting around waiting for this storm to come through. Now, these are the people in Florida. Now, here we are up in the Queen City studio, located just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina. We are actually getting what they call feeder bands. It's the outer rings of the hurricane, and it's heading this way. It's heading to the Wilmington area, which is on the east coast. Of course, there's not a west coast of North Carolina, but it's actually kind of skipping through. I think it's going to skip off of South Carolina and then skip off North Carolina. But the eye of the hurricane is what I'm talking about. But the eye of the hurricane, the bands go out for another 160 some odd miles, and we here at the French. Now, granted, here at the French, we are pretty. I'm not gonna say it. We are strapped in. We are nestled in here at the French. All the chickens have got food and water. If we ever lose power here, all the horses have been full and stuff. Now, here's the thing. When you lose power in some areas, you still have water because, you're on city lines, septic lines, not septic lines. Well, yeah, I mean, you flush the toilet, it's got to go somewhere, well, septic. But your normal water should work as long as the power station, the lift station, doesn't lose power. Put that over right there. But you should have water. Here at the French, we're on a well system. Of course, what runs a well? It's a pump. It's a motor, and it's electrically supplied. So if we lose power, we lose water because we have nothing to pump the water. Now the tank will hold for probably about. I think we figured it out. I accidentally turned the breaker off to the pump one time, and the pump let me flush the toilet like 3 times, and it would fill and flush it again, fill and flush it again. So, what's the old homage? They say, if it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown, flush it down. I know, I'm getting really, really disgusting. But, hey, you know what? These are what happens during a hurricane. People started getting to learn the basics of survival. People go out there and they buy all the water off the shelves. But I didn't understand that because, like I said, normally you have water even if the power goes out, you should have water. But anyways, nonetheless, so I hope everyone's doing well. I hope everyone's doing good. We've got a lot to talk about on this episode of Deacon Live. We've got, we're going to talk about a lot of, is it fake? Is it real? It's a new game show. Well, it's not a new game show. It's just one of those things where anytime something major happens, for example, a hurricane or something else, we like to, oh my God, is that real or is that fake? Is this, made up, or is it just, one of those urban legends and stuff? We'll get into that a little bit later. We also invited a very funny comedian who's going to be in the Charlotte area this weekend. We invited him, and we'll get you more details on that later on in the program. So hopefully he'll come in here in the studio and hang out with us here at Deacon Live. I've got I actually vacuumed the carpet on that side of the studio. We put some incense. I hope he's not allergic to like smelly stuff, but so I put some incense over there. I've got a nice vacuumed everything because sometimes that gets to be a collect-all. You know how that goes with a collect-all. You just kind of, we're not going to use this for a little bit, so this will just have to sit here until I can get around to it. But other than that, we're doing good here at the French. We're actually sitting here waiting for this storm. I know. I don't know where the storm is right now. I haven't gotten on the old web channel, the old AccuWeather News or AccuWeather Forecast, and find out where the actual weather, the storm is. But it's getting close. It's getting close because it's windy out there right now. It's raining a little bit, but we're good. We're all good. We're all good here at the French. And for those of you who don't know, we opened up our facility here at the French. And you keep asking me, or I keep saying the French, and people go, well, what is the French? What is the French? Well, the French is a combination of a farm and a ranch. We have a farm on one side where we do all our vegetables and stuff, and then the ranch is all the horses and stuff that are that are here on the property. And we've got 20 some odd acres, and most of the horses are all the horses are fenced in, but we have a back part of the property that's open. And actually, if you listen to last week's podcast, we opened up the property through Hip Camp, through Gretchen B, our local hometown hero comic in the Central Florida area, and we did have some people come up. Now, I don't know if it was through, I know most of it was through Hip Camp, but I don't know if anyone from Gretchen sent them up here and stuff. We had about 20 some odd families. When I say families, so that's probably 43, 46 people. About 46 people here, 20 vehicles on the property. Everything, they were here for probably 2 days. When the storm, as soon as the storm stalled, they said, you know what, we're gonna move on about our day. And I think the last family left. What's today? Thursday? The last family left Tuesday. They said we're going to, after the 3-day Memorial Day weekend, they said, you know what, we're going to head back to, I'm not sure where they came from, but for the most part, everything was fine. I didn't take pictures of anyone because a lot of times they're not in the best condition to be taking pictures of. They've been on the road for however many hours. It's kind of like they threw all their clothes and all their stuff in the one vehicle and just kind of ran. So I didn't want to embarrass anyone or, call anyone out. But we did. We had about 46. I'm just rounded up. I'm going to say about 50 people here. About 20 some odd vehicles. Mostly cars. No campers or anything like that. We did pull out the tent for a little bit for one family because they had a newborn, not a newborn, a toddler under the age of 2. And they just wanted somewhere a little bit, to lay the baby down instead of laying them in the back seat of the car. So we broke out one of the tents. So that's what we did. That's what the Prophet Radio did. I'm glad to be a part of them. And that's what Deacon Live, we helped that. And we appreciate all that. And through the powers of Hip Camp, they used our, these people that actually came out, used our promo code. And they got in, they had to pay service charge because Hip Camp does that. And just to protect like insurance and things of that nature. But yeah, they came out, they put in the promo code, they heard the podcast, so we thanked them, all the families and stuff. And because we're on a ranch and we have produce, we were eating eggplant salad and zucchini this, and we made a big old spaghetti squash. My wife came up with a not a macaroni and cheese, but almost like a spaghetti squash, substituting the noodles instead of, spaghetti squash instead of noodles. So she made her own version of a macaroni and cheese casserole, and we all ate that one night. Not just the casserole, we had other stuff to go with it. But we've got, chickens on the property, so we had eggs. I fired up the grill. They didn't have any cooking things on there, so I brought the grill down. Just a simple 3-burner grill. You've seen them in the stores for like, $200, $300. Brought that down there for them so they could have at least have like a cookout for themselves on Memorial Day and feel like they're actually human, they're actually part of humanity, and enjoying not Memorial Day, Labor Day. I keep saying Memorial Day because I get the two confused. So they're all good. They all headed back to their homes. I'm hoping that they got home safely. And if you see a couple more vehicles out there with some DeaconLive stickers on it, by all means, just give them a wave, tip of the hat, say, hey, we know you and you know us. So, and if you want some of that free swag, go to ProfitRadio.com under the swag section. Click on what stickers and stuff that you want. We'll send them out to you, no charge. They're free stickers, and you can put them all over your kids if you want to. When we come back, we'll get into some myths, some urban legends, and some stuff that's been going around on the internet about this stupid hurricane that came through. That's actually, I say stupid because it's heading right here to the Queen City studio. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Profit Radio. I'll be right back. Give me that. Oh, excuse me. Woo! Welcome back. You're listening to Deacon Live. Make sure you become a member of our show, member of the podcast, and the way you do that is to go to ProfitRadio.com and click on the membership section. And what that does is that gets you all the behind-the-scenes stuff. Under the tent video, by the way, we're doing the under the tent video, which is the live recorded, whatever you want to call it. People like to see my hand gestures as I'm talking, and also you can see on the screen when I talk about articles and stuff, they pop up on the screen. What you're seeing right now, I got some questions before, is what's the line that's going across the screen there, Deacon? And this is how we do the podcast. And this is a program that captures everything that passes through the mic and through your ears, through your little device that you're listening to us on. All that sound is captured on this program, and basically I go through and just kind of cut out the beep, boop. So your data plans are very valuable to you. Some people, they're limited. Ow, bitch. They're limited to data plans, and we like to kind of shrink this and make the podcast as smooth and quickly as possible. I say quickly, but you don't have time to sit there and wait for me to think about a word when you're sitting there yelling at your phone or your headset or whatever, going, "It's darn it, yeah, bong," whatever the case may be. So, but now that this hurricane has come through, everyone watch out for grifters, for people making phone calls about your auto, your auto and warranty is expired, or this is expired, or that's expired. Be very careful about these things because it's going to happen a lot more. And there's a section that we have on the membership page that's called Bad Calls. And Bad Calls is essentially people have called here at the radio station because we are publicly, you can call us at any time at 407-448-8800 or text us live at any time at that same number. and it is the studio line. So it's public. You can Google search, Deacon Live, and you'll get the phone number. So you've got these warehouses full of people that sit there at their computers and they have their headsets on. You can hear that they're pissed off at their life and their job, and they just want to make sales and blah blah blah. It's a telemarketer thing. So I get phone calls here at the station all the time, and I'd like to see how long I can keep them on the phone and see how much BS I can give them. And it's fun. It's fun because you guys out there, I know you get them they're at least twice a day, unknown number or a number that looks just like your phone number on the phone. So we've created a section on the membership page of phone calls that we get here at the station, and it's called Bad Calls. So here's a prime example. This is live. I'm very uncut. This is a prime example of bad calls that we get here at the station.
Hi, this is the alert system with Visa MasterCard account services with important changes to your account before the next billing cycle. If you received your new rates by mail and wish not to be contacted, press 3. Congratulations on your excellent payment history. You now qualify for a 0% interest rate on all your credit card accounts. This is a limited time offer and you must respond immediately. Press 1 now to speak to our qualification department and complete the enrollment process.
Beep.
Card services, how are you doing today?
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I see that you are responding to get yourself lower interest rates on your existing credit cards, right?
Well, you guys asked me to press 1, so I hit the one that represents 1, the number on my phone, yes.
So for the qualification purpose, which credit card do you think you owe the most? It's your Visa or MasterCard?
Yes.
It's your Visa or MasterCard?
Yes.
Okay. So how much do you think you owe collectively?
Probably close to $1,500.
Okay. So it's on your Visa or MasterCard?
It's my credit card that I have.
It's your Visa or MasterCard?
Right, it's the credit card that I have. I'm not sure if it's a Master Visa card or anything like that.
Can you please go and grab your card? I'm holding the line for you.
Okay. Can you hang on one sec while I go get it?
Sure.
Okay.
She's already pissed off. She's like, "Yes, sure. I'll wait for you to go get it." So here I come back.
Okay, I have the card.
All right. So kindly grab your card and verify me the expiration date.
Expiration date on the card?
Mm-hmm.
Where is that located?
Don't you know where it's located?
No, that's why I asked you for where is the expiration date located on the card.
Okay, it's your Visa or MasterCard.
I have the card in my hand. Where does it say what kind of card it is?
Which type of card are you holding right now, sir?
I have a red card and it has a bunch of gold numbers on it. But where does it say what kind of card it is? I see my bank on the top left-hand side.
Yes, stay on the line. Stay on the line.
Okay.
So now she hands it over to her friend.
Hello?
Hi, sir. How are you?
Good. How are you? I'm a lady, by the way.
Wonderful. You're
Hello?
a lady?
I'm a lady. Yes, I'm a female.
Your sound doesn't like a female to me. I'm so sorry.
It's okay, sir. Some people don't get that the first time around. It's okay.
Oh, okay. I'm very sorry about that. So, ma'am, do you have any credit card under your name? Any Visa, Master, Discover, American Express?
Yes, sir, I do.
And I'm a ma'am, by the way, okay? Sir?
You're a man? That's what I said. I said, sir. You said you're a man. I said, yes, sir.
she's confused.
Hello? Are you there? It sounds like roaches.
God bless you.
It sounds like
Yeah,
roaches.
God bless you.
It sounds like roaches
God
are
bless.
running around.
God bless you.
Hello?
And that's it. So these are the things, I try to keep them on the line as much as possible. And it's funny because I always say, they assume that I'm a man, or they assume that I'm this or that. And I always correct them and see if they can still play along with the game. But so that's a small, raw section of bad calls. I think I've got over 60, 70 different bad calls on there, from homeowners insurance, from car warranty insurance, from you want to give me $250,000 loan and stuff. So make sure you go to profitradio.com and click on the membership page, and you can be a part of that. There is a small subscription fee for it, but it's small. But you get these phone calls. I get them all the time, and I put them up there on the membership page. So I hope you guys are doing good. Something that we did a little while back was we invited a gentleman, a famous. I don't want to say. Well, I hope he's not listening because he's a comedian. He's been in the news, not recently, but he was in the news for a while, and he was on a sitcom. Very funny gentleman, has done a lot for charitable causes and whatnot, and he's going to be in the Charlotte area. And when we come back, I'm going to break open the egg that is the mystery about who this comedian is, and hopefully he'll hear us and be part of the show. I'll set up a special. We'll do a special show with him when he comes in. So you're listening to Deacon Live. Stick around. I'll be right back.
Do you know what sucks about internet radio?
Absolutely fucking nothing.
Profit radio. I don't like
Nothing.
internet radio. I do not like internet radio.
Profit radio.
You're listening to the best internet rock station, Profit Radio. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter. That's Profit_radio. Follow us on Twitter, get some updates and some great news. Stick around, we'll be right back. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Profit Radio. You can call us anytime at 407-448-8800. Text us live at any time in the Queen City studio, located just outside of Charlotte in a beautiful little town we like to call Marshville. Make sure you go to profitradio.com and subscribe to all our YouTube channels. We're doing Under the Tent, a live video feed that we started back up again. I say live video feed. It's the live studio camera that we do here, so you can see me waving at the camera and talking about stuff, and you can see the stuff that I have on my monitor when I talk about articles and videos and stuff. So it's kind of like a all access pass type thing. Anyways, so speaking of watching, get this out of here. I'm gonna put a bug bomb in here somewhere, because I don't know what's happening, but there's like these little, what are they, little fruit fly looking things? I've got nothing in here food wise. I don't eat up here. I have a beer or two, and then that's it. There's no food. I don't know. Anyways, so if you're watching my if you're watching the monitor here on Under the Tent, which is our what we call the video feed here at the studio, good friend of ours, Mike Coverdale, likes to have some fun with video. He's got a lot of spare time on his hand. I think I have, if you're watching the video right now, the shoes that he has here in the very bottom of the page. I think I have these on. Hold on. I think I do. Oh, no. He's got Nikes. I got New Balance. They're almost the same. They almost look the same. I was like going, hey, he's got my shoes. But Mike Coverdale, he's got his own little YouTube channel. He's got a lot of spare time on his hand. And this is his version of being caught in a hurricane force wind. And he's actually inside of his house. So let's see what happens. Here we go. Oh. Mike, hold on. There's absolutely no wind in the house, but
I'm all right.
okay. Some reason there's no wind blowing, but he's holding himself up there. So those are the those are the type of stupid videos that you get to see. If you're watching Under the Tent here, you can actually see what's on my computer screen, on my monitor and stuff, so you can be part of that. And speaking of being part of it, we've asked a famous comedian to be part of our podcast here at Deacon Live, and we reached out to him, And the reason why I said we reached out to him is because I was scrolling through my Facebook feed, and I came across... Oh, please tell me I have it still. Please tell me I have it. Give me one sec. Oh, here it is right here. Because I came across this video that was on my Facebook feed. So I'm like, I know you're watching the video right now. So here's the gentleman that I want you to guess without looking at the screen. I want you to guess who this guy is. You ready? Oh, I clicked on the damn thing. I gotta start over. You ready?
They did it again. Took me on a beer run, sent me in, and drove off laughing. The sad thing is, I went with them. I trusted them because I wanted to be liked. God, I'm a pathetic, disgusting waste of life.
You saw my block, right?
What?
My block in the big game. You remember it, right?
Oh, when you took down Matuka, yeah.
Yeah, so then it was me. I knew it.
Who says it wasn't?
Everybody, the coach, the tape on the tape, it shows number 57, Busterman.
Yeah, well, sure.
Sure, what do you mean, sure?
Don't you remember what happened?
No.
2 hours before the game, those sadists locked me in the janitor's closet, naked. They love naked.
So that's the gentleman that any guesses yet? If you don't know who it is, it's not the one guy, but it's the other guy. You know who I'm talking about. Yep. We asked this gentleman, he came through. He's coming through Charlotte this Saturday, so here we go.
Hey, it's Patton Oswalt here. Are you in Charlotte, North Carolina? Well, guess what? On Saturday, September 7th, I'm doing 2 shows at the Night Theater, 7 p.m., 9:30. You know what these shows are? They're the taping for my next Netflix special. That's right. Saturday, September 7th, at the Night Theater in Charlotte, North Carolina, 7 and 9:30. Tickets are available at pattonoswalt.com or at Ticketmaster. I'll see you there. I can't wait.
So there you go.
Hey, it's Patton Oswalt.
Yeah, we got you, Patton. Thank you. So we reached out to him if he's going to be in the Charlotte area. Hopefully he'll see my plea, my cry for help. Now, we are just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, in a beautiful little town we like to call Marshville. And I keep saying that because it's home of Randy Travis. And it's a very historical town. So hopefully he'll have some time off. He's doing 2 shows in Charlotte. If anything, maybe he'll reach out to the Deacon Live podcast and give us some tickets. Or I don't want tickets. I just want him here in the chair. I want to talk to him. You know, comedian on comedian. Not that I'm a comedian, but I want to hear about life on the road and how he got started, and you know how things have changed as far as just doing regular stand-up, and now he's doing the social media things and how sensitive everything is as far as what you say and what you don't say. So when we come back, speaking of saying and not saying and what's real and what's not real, I'm going to get into some of these urban myths. I'm going to get into these urban legends and stories that have come up because of Hurricane Dorian, that we're actually under attack right now here in North Carolina. Actually, in the Charlotte area, I walked downstairs from the studio here, which is above our it's a fully functioning studio above our it's a fully functioning studio that we have here on the property. And I walked downstairs to go look outside, and sure enough, the wind's picking up here in the area out here by the French. So hopefully we'll be all right. And I'm going to dismiss and tell you truthfully all these stories that have been happening since Hurricane Dorian came out. So stick around. I'll get into those here in just one sec. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Oh, I didn't change over. Oh, well. Oh, that's why we had the secondary camera. Smart thinking. All right, now we'll come back again. I got to get used to switching between the two, so bear with me, please. Please. One-man show here. Ow. All right, here we go. I have to burp. Welcome back to Deacon Live. Give us a call here at the station anytime at 407-448-8800. Make sure I sent out some requests out there on the Facebook feed. Make sure you're part of us on the Facebook. Just search for Prophet Radio, PROPHET radio.com on the Facebook page. And, excuse me, jeez. On the Facebook page, I sent a link out there for everyone to click on the Be Heard section. And what is Be Heard? Well, Be Heard is you click on that and it opens up a microphone. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to show you right here on the on the thing here, the monitor. If you're watching under the tent. Give me 1 second. So many windows open. Give me 1 sec because the music's going to play. So if you're watching us on the Under the Tent video, I'm going to pause this because it's going to... music's going to blare here in a minute. Stop.
Rocking and rolling on a Livingston Saturday night. Pick up washed and you just got paid with any luck at all your might.
All right, we'll turn that down. So if you look right here, it says on the very bottom of the page, says Be Heard, little microphone. It says send a voice message. Scared to call live on the air? Leave a message here. And what you do is you click on that. Boom. Click on that. Opens up. Send a voice message to Be Heard on Deacon Live. Right here. And it says, we would love to hear from you. Please record a message. You can make up your own name if you want. And then you hit start recording. It's that simple. It's that simple. You click on that. A little message comes right here to the station, and I play it right here on the air. How simple is that? It's very, very simple. And the simple things in life, sometimes we take for granted. Like stories about, did you hear about this? Did you hear about that? You know, all the stuff, urban myths, urban legends, and whatnot. So now we've got this hurricane that's come through, and I think there's like two or three urban legends or urban myths that have come out. One is, have you seen the picture of the lady who wrapped her house in plastic? In Visqueen is the technical name for wrapping your house in plastic, because Visqueen sounds so French and it sounds so expensive. It's just plastic. So this lady in Jacksonville, actually, right here. I'm going to play this story for you. The lady in Jacksonville actually did wrap her house in plastic, and she had a good reason. And I'm thinking, I was talking to my wife this morning, I'm like going, hey, have you ever thought about wrapping the house in plastic just to keep water out? And she's like, no, that sounds stupid. I'm like, yeah, it sounds stupid. But then I was like, well, I read the article, I was listening to the article, and it makes sense to a certain point. So here we go. Here's the article about the lady in Jacksonville who wrapped her whole entire house in plastic.
AccuWeather, only on.
Oh, God, AccuWeather, my ass.
In Hurricanes Matthew and Irma, Davis Shores saw devastating flooding. Many rebuilt their homes on stilts. With Hurricane Dorian churning as a Category 5, people are taking some unique precautions.
We just started out by doing 6 mil plastic all around the house.
Brittany Vidal is plastic wrapping her home, securing it with close to 300 sandbags and duct tape.
I think we're only on roll 3.
She's lived through Matthew and Irma. Her home flooded both storms. Now she's considering raising her home, but trying the plastic wrap for now.
Hopefully our barricade will do something for us this year, but at least we can immediately start getting fans, get things going.
Vidal lives in what is considered Zone A. Zones A and B are made up of close to 149,000 people who were asked to evacuate. Vidal says for now she's staying put.
Now, if you see actually what she done, if you actually look at the way she's got the sandbags, they're kind of like dominoes. They're laying on top of each other, like after dominoes have fallen. And she's got the sandbags all the way around the whole entire house on the plastic. And then she's duct taped the plastic up. And it's a barrier. And you know what? If this works out for her, she might have to patent it for one thing. But I think there's a niche, or there's a selling point that you can make this actually happen. Now, I don't know if you remember back in 2016, if you can remember that far. I know we can barely remember the news lineup from last week or last month. But I remember seeing a story about. I know. Thank you. See you later. There was a house, a guy who had a house and actually bought a bladder, a huge water bladder that he put around his whole entire house and filled it up with water. And the whole, when I'm thinking Eustis in Florida, when Houston, Texas, when the hurricane came through, this one house was completely saved because he had these bladders that were around his house that kept the water from coming in. And I think they interviewed the guy, and he says that, it takes about an hour and a half to 2 hours to set it up. And then it takes about anywhere from 24 to 36 hours to fill it up with water to fill up and keep the water out of the property. So if you're looking on the under the tent thing, see this big bladder that goes around the whole entire house? A Texas homeowner did protect his house by flooding by using an inflatable dam. Now, it was filled with water, not hot air. And this was published on August of 2017. So, yeah, I mean, there's a market. I'm surprised this hasn't happened earlier. In August 2017, a devastating hurricane hit Texas. A photograph was taken previously a year before of the Texas home survived flooding through this recirculated on. Oh, okay, there you go. So if you're looking at the video here, look at his house. Everyone else is underwater, and he's still got a green lawn for the most part around his property. And I don't know if these are going to be. If they become a little bit more economical, I mean, what is the price of putting up how much money did you spend on plywood? How much money did you spend on that? How much money did you spend on getting snacks and supplies? Now, granted, you have to have power, to keep everything going. Now, we here at the Franch, we have a generator. We have a 8500 watt, that's what it is, 8500 watt generator. And I talked about this before, that when I first started dating my wife, that was just after the 2004 hurricanes that came through Florida. And her dad bought her this real nice Honda generator. I mean, I turned it on. It's been sitting out there since Florence that came through, and fired that thing right up. And one pull. It's my generator noise. But for the most part, we have a generator here, and it will run. This is what I'm planning on. I've got the extension cords and everything already out there. It's going to run the refrigerator in the house. It's going to run. We have two coolers, side-by-side coolers out there in the garage to keep all our produce and all our eggs and stuff, all our farm products in that. So it's going to run those. In the master bedroom, we have a portable little R2D2 looking thing that is an AC unit. Instead of having a window unit, it's on wheels and stuff, and you just it's got a 4-inch hose that you stick out the window and close the window down on it. It'll run that. lights and a TV, and that's all. I don't want to say that's all you need, but that's all you need as far as like information, food. Our cooktop is gas, propane. So all you need to do, the electric starter won't work, of course, if we lose power. So you can just take a match and turn the flame on, and there you go. And we can cook all day long. We've got lots of flashlights and everything, but still, for the most part, the bladder around the house is a good idea if you've got a substantial. Everyone's house is substantial, whether it's a $50,000 house or a $450,000 house. Every house should be saved, but the cost around the bladder should be, I don't know what the trade-off on that is. Now, here's another picture that's come out. People, I'm going to call you out. I see a lot of my friends on the Facebook page, and most of them are single moms that are just so impressed with the internet, and Facebook. I don't know, whatever, and they're the same ones who put 15 filters on their face and say, I had a rough day at work. Look at me, and their skin's completely perfect, and they've got these stupid librarian glasses on. Please stop it. You look stupid. Every one of you looks stupid. Anyway, so then these people, this scenario of people are putting these pictures on. Oh my God, this is beautiful. Look at this photographer took a picture of this dolphin caught in the wind. It's so sad. It's so sad. The dolphin's caught in the wind at the storm, and I hope he's okay. Guess what? He's fine, because it's fake. In September 2019, an image supposedly showing a dolphin caught in the strong winds of Hurricane Dorian has circulated the media. Now, here we go. We addressed this back in, and this is the article, we addressed this back in 2016. Now, this is not the genuine photograph of this thing. There's a website called People of Lancaster, which is a UK-based thing. And this, actually, the picture itself was taken from Hurricane Francis in 2004. And if you're looking at the under the tent video, here I am waving at you. Here's the original picture, and then they just kind of photoshopped this dolphin flying over what seems to be a building for some reason. It's not. It's please stop posting that. Look at, oh my God, look. It's kind of the same thing with the one lady who took a dump on the on her boss's desk after she won the lottery. That's fake too. Please, people, please stop posting the stuff. Facebook has done a pretty good job about underneath an article. It'll actually have in real small lettering underneath it. There's 2 more articles that saying hoax, 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 hoax. So make sure you're looking at those before you start retweeting and reposting and all that stuff that goes on with just crazy stories that happen around the internet. And true stories coming up. I know I was going to play Is It Real or Not Real? So I think I did the real, and I'm going to do some more real stuff here in just 1 second when we come back. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. Fucking people are stupid. Welcome back to Deacon Live. We were talking all hurricane talk here, and I know it's getting mundane, it's getting repetitive, it's repetitious and stuff, but for the most part, a lot of people across, because Deacon Live reaches out across the whole entire United States, and in fact, across the whole entire Europe, North America, South America, Asia, and all that stuff, and we've got many listeners from overseas, and they've never seen or heard or don't know what goes into the details as far as a hurricane. And they always go, well, why can't you guys do something about a hurricane? Why can't you stop it? Is there a way to stop it? And everyone, the big joke in Florida is everyone go to the coast of the east coast of Florida and bring your fans and turn them on and blow the wind that way. I mean, it's kind of out there and stuff, but that's what a lot of people think. That's all you need to do. Just, change the course of Mother Nature and change the way the world works. And this one guy, genius or not genius, I'm going to let you decide. This guy had his own opinion on how to fix the whole hurricane problem. Here we go.
Can't see how they haven't come up with some kind of way to combat these storms yet. They keep saying, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, oh, it said this, but it's going to hit all this warm weather and warm water. We have a Navy. Why don't the Navy come and drop ice in the warm water so it can't get going as fast as it's going? There's got to be ways to combat this instead of just pointing at the thing and saying, well, now it's getting worse. Yeah, we know it's getting worse, but you tell us, oh, it's the warm weather.
No, you know what you should do? Actually, hippies are going to love this one. Why don't we just slice off part of the North Pole, take an iceberg and just drag it over to the water in between the United States and Africa and chill that water the fuck out, right? Is that what he's saying? Take a big old iceberg and just drop it off in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean and just kind of chill the water?
It's the wind. Well, we have an Air Force. Drive some Air Force planes around to get the winds going the opposite way. Get the Navy to go in circles to fight it the other way.
So they've actually talked about putting walls up on the coast, the western coast of Africa, so that these, the hot winds comes over, and this is how a hurricane starts. The hot winds come over the African continent, and then it gets into the waters of the Atlantic Ocean, and it spirals and turns and sticks and blots and blah, 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 and then all of a sudden, everyone's dead. The hurricane hits shore and everyone's dead. And, I hate to say that everyone's dead, but holy mackerel, the Bahamas, I don't even know how that place still exists anymore. I know how it exists because we here in the United States allow it to exist. And when I say allow it to exist, Walt Disney World Company donates more than $1 million to relief and recovery efforts in the Bahamas. Now, when I say Walt Disney donates $1 million, you're like, oh, that's one day of one park being open at any given time. Now, Royal Caribbean has done the same thing. They're matching, that's the thing. You guys will donate and we'll just match whatever you guys donate. But all these cruise liners, these big money-making cruise liners, are donating money to the Bahamas recovery and stuff. Why? And everyone's out on, again, Facebook. Everyone's like, oh my God, that's so awesome. We love Disney World. We love the cruise liners and all that stuff. Think about it. Do you know when you get on a cruise liner, most of them are not registered here in the United States? They are not. They're not registered here in the United States. You know why? Because the taxes are totally different if they're registered off of the United States. They don't have to pay as many taxes. They don't have to pay the labor board as much because most of the people, if you've ever been on a cruise line, are from the islands that you go to. So they physically, except for like the entertainment and like the people that need to speak English and need to, I know I'm sounding horrible, need to be in contact with the people on the ship, for the most part, they're all from these islands. And, they're shitty conditions living on the boats and stuff. But, for the most part, the cruise ships, the cruise liners, are their main source of employment. So why wouldn't Disney, why wouldn't Royal Caribbean donate all this money to get these people's homes back up and running? So you know why? So they can get back on their ships, so they can get back out in the water and get back to making money. So when it says Disney World, don't look at it as like, oh my God, that's so awesome. That's so, they're so no. If Disney wanted to be cool, they would have done this with Puerto Rico. You know why? Why didn't Disney donate $1 million to Puerto Rico? You know why? Because they don't port there. They port in the Bahamas. They port in all those islands out. Disney World has their own island out there, their own resort. Why wouldn't they donate I'm surprised it was $1 million. They should have said $10 million. Everyone would have flown through the roof and go, oh my God, Disney World's so great. But you know what? It's, like I said, Bahamas, Puerto Rico. So, you know, when you see that, read past the headline, read past what the what actually is involved. Why do you think there's a no one's just going to give $100 million or even $1 million to something unless they have their own fingers in some kind of part of the pie. The agenda is a little bit different than what you're thinking. So, and one thing I want to say is, if you're running from the storm, you always think of like the animals, the dogs, the rescues, the shelters and stuff. The animals are one thing that, you know, think about those. Think about your puppies when a storm comes through. And one thing that I didn't realize, hold on. Well, I mean, I realize it because we have horses here on the property. And the horses during a storm, you're like going, why don't the horses get out of the storm? Why don't we built this nice big old, what they call lean-to, that they can go in. But no, they stand in the field and they all stand a certain direction. Well, in North Carolina, there's a section of wild horses. Yes, we have wild horses here in North Carolina. Now they're maintained, they're looked at. They are hold on, right here.
Hurricane Dorian bearing down on the coast of the Carolinas. Some animal lovers have wondered what wild...
Stop! All right. I know I've had these open too long. Excuse me. Bear with me. So believe it or not, most of the animals do protect themselves. They know when a storm's coming through. So if you ever go by a cow pasture and the cows are laying down on the ground, it's either going to get cold or it's going to rain. Now here's one thing that I didn't know or didn't realize, because I have horses here at the French, that these wild horses in North Carolina, these Spanish Mustangs that are in the North Carolina coastline, are they're running wild. I mean, they're untamed, they're feral. So here we go.
Some animal lovers have wondered what wild horses do during a major storm. While over 1 million residents in some areas have been ordered to evacuate before Dorian's arrival, the majestic colonial Spanish Mustangs of North Carolina's Outer Banks don't have that option. CNN reports that the Corolla Wild Horse Fund, which helps manage the herd, sent out a reminder to those concerned about the collective team of horses.
So there's a bunch of wild Mustang horses on the Outer Banks of North Carolina on these little, like jetties, like the Keys, like the Florida Keys are down there. We have all these little islands outside of North Carolina, and these horses live on them. You know, from the Spanish, when the Spanish ships came over, I'm sure some of them, the ship sank and the horses just took over this island.
The group said they will not be removing the wild horses from the area, saying, quote, they'll likely ride out winds and rain as their ancestors did before them, in huddles, butts to the wind. They added not to worry, explaining the colonial Spanish Mustangs have, quote, been doing this for 500 years. The Corolla Wild Horse Fund said the horses are already sensing the changing air pressure and are starting to huddle. They said the team will likely head to higher ground and gather together under oak trees during the brunt of the storm. The fund said they will have a herd manager stay at the farm during the storm, but the horses have been given extra food and water ahead of the hurricane.
So butts to the wind. That's what the horses do. They put their butts to the wind and kind of protects them and stuff. So there you go. You worry about wild animals and the wild horses of the Outer Banks of North Carolina. I didn't know there was wild Mustangs out there, but I guess there is. There's a wild Mustangs. That wild Mustangs. I think there's a Rolling Stones song in there somewhere. When we come back, I'm going to get into, everyone's asking on Facebook, what's to watch? We're trapped in the house. We're running out of stuff to do. There's a curfew. I want to watch something, new series, new movie, new stuff. And I watched 3. I'm not going to say good. I'm going to just say I watched 3 things that you guys might want to be interested in. And stick around as if you're watching the Under the 10 here. I'll be right back. Welcome back. You're listening to Deacon Live. Oh, man. So I went outside and looked at the storm, and the storm seems to be okay for now, I guess. It's starting to be a little rainy out there, a little bit more wind picking up, but for the most part, I think we're going to be good. I think we're going to be okay, and that could change within 12 hours and stuff. So, but we're not going to be, we don't have the board or the windows boarded up. We're not that far on the east side of North Carolina. We're just outside of Charlotte, North Carolina, in a beautiful little town we like to call Marshville. And for the most part, it's a nice, quiet town. We don't have any big trees around the house, but we do have the back part of the franch is nothing but oaks and pine trees and maple trees and stuff. So I went through, I think a day or two ago, and I kind of looked at a couple of them, and I said, well, this one kind of looks a little shaky. Thinned them out a little bit, dropped them, set a big fire. The people that were here escaping the storm on the backside of the French through the people who signed up for HIP camp. We opened up the backside of our property. We had a big bonfire back there. Everyone had a good time. So we're good. I kind of thinned some trees out. They always say to thin some trees out so the big trees aren't like umbrellas. When the wind blows, all the leaves kind of connect and they pull the tree up. I mean, that's how some of the trees flip over. You have to thin those branches out so the wind can pass right through them. Didn't know that, did you? That's what happens when you listen to Deacon Live. Anyways, and thank you for taking my advice. And another thing, I want to give you some advice. A lot of you out there on Facebook have been saying, what can I watch on Netflix? I'm sitting at home. I'm getting anxious. I've watched everything that I need to watch. I'm caught up on the Marvelous Miss Maisel. I watched Mindhunter, knocked that out for after a day or two. Can you give me some more recommendations? Well, yes, I can. Lovely people out there. There is a movie out there that I watched. It's weird. If you're a big fan, and this is for people over the age of 40, late 30s, 40 years old. I don't know if you guys are going to remember this, but I remember watching it as a kid, and I thought it was so unique. It was so different to see these live puppets, and I say live puppets, people in costumes. Do you remember? No. 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 Do you remember what was a Cross and whatever, where the I'm getting out of control here. The show where everyone was dressed up. God, I can't remember. Marty Croft steals a Nash. Does that make any sense? No, it doesn't make any sense. Anyways, this is a show, and it's a kids show from my childhood that turned into a really, really weird show.
going to the banana splits.
Sometimes at night, I see the splits riding around in the little cars, laughing and singing.
Who's excited to see the banana splits?
Rebecca, I'm canceling the show.
What?
Hey, kids, put on your happiest faces because the Banana Split Show is about to begin.
Where are the children?
Mom, get out of here. Time's almost up.
So it's the banana splits have gone like haywire and starting to kill people. Now, I don't remember the banana splits being like mean or anything like that, but I guess they've turned this into a horror movie. The banana splits, you remember the banana splits? They were a spinoff from the Monkees. You know, hey, we're the Monkees. And then when they had their show, the banana splits were the comic break in between. Kind of like how The Simpsons started on the Tracy Ullman show. Tracy Ullman show, if I'm dating everyone out there. Tracy Ullman show had a little comedy break and it was The Simpsons. And they were all like, every scene was hand-drawn, so every character was kind of squiggly and stuff, but that's what the banana splits were. They were the spin-off from the Monkees back in that time. So another show. Now I'm never really, I mean, I've been a baseball fan, but I don't, you know, I'm impressed with people that know stats. You know, Jose Hernandez hit, 42 home runs in the series between blah 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 and this and that, and I've never understood people that knew baseball stats all the time. And there's a scene from a great movie, and I forget what movie it is, but basically the wife of the husband always knew all the baseball stats and stuff, but never talked to his dad. And the wife said to him, she said, why do you know all these baseball stats? Why don't, blah, blah, blah. And the conversation led to, I never really, the son said, I never could really talk to my dad, but when I did talk to my dad, we talked baseball, and that was our only communication between the two of us. And I forget what movie it is. If you remember the movie, go to the Prophet Radio website and click on Be Heard and let me know what movie that was, because I can't remember what movie it was. And he goes, we always had baseball. We always had baseball stats, and that was the way that we communicated. He never asked me how my day was. We could talk baseball stats, and that was the way that father and son communicated. Now, here's a new movie. It's on Netflix. It's called Screwball. Now, I don't know if you guys remember in the mid-'90s, late '90s, there was a Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire were just creaming. Oh, God. Excuse me on that one. We're just killing baseballs left and right. There was a home run battle, home run derby, that they were just killing the baseballs. They were killing the baseballs out of the park with the green field on it. No, they were having this whole thing where they were just...
There's a saying, never meet your heroes because they'll break your heart.
Anyways, this is the story about the whole steroid or quote-unquote steroids or growth enhancement or testosterone that happened in the major leagues in the 2000s to current right now. So here we go. It's called Screwball. And I like the way it's done because it's very well shot. Excuse me. And when they reenact the scenes, they actually use like little kids that mouth the commentary that the actual people who are caught in the conspiracy are saying. So when the guy goes, I remember watching baseball, there's a little 10-year-old kid going, I remember watching baseball, but he's, mouthing. I didn't mean to make him sound deaf, but here you go.
From the moment I remember, I wanted to be a baseball player. It was the American dream. I got kicked off the team for smoking weed. It was a disaster. My plan was go into medicine.
The Belize School of Medical and Performing Arts.
What is Florida about? It's about vanity and sex. It was a perfect place for the anti-aging movement.
Especially down here in Miami, everyone wants things now.
There's almost no regulations.
You'd have people who pretended to be doctors giving all types of medical advice.
He had a white lab coat that said Dr. Tony Bosch. He had a stethoscope around his neck. Yeah, I assumed he was a doctor.
Manny was the first VIP client. Within weeks, his focus was much better. He felt a lot quicker.
This guy says, yeah, my cousin's in the Yankees.
So if you're watching Under the Tent, you could see the kids portraying the behind-the-scenes stuff as far as them reenacting everything. It's a really good... it's like 2.5 hours long, and I think I cut it off like at 2 hours and 10 minutes because I had to go to bed, had to go to sleep, had to go to bed. And... I'm going to talk about this one more real quick, and it's called Dropping Cash. Now, I watched this, and I was like going, oh, this is going to be really cool. This is going to be a really great insight. Now, do you guys out there know what SoundCloud rappers are? No, most SoundCloud, what's that? SoundCloud rappers, for whatever reason, there was this big movement on SoundCloud. Now, if you don't know what SoundCloud is, you can basically take let's say, for example, this podcast and upload it to a platform, take all the audio, put it on this platform, and then title it something. It's kind of like the audio version of YouTube. That's the best way I can describe it. And then from there, people listen to it. You put tags on it, hashtag this, hashtag that, so people can find you. Now, a lot of these new rap artists that are coming out aren't made or not connected to any kind of record label. There is no record, no physical CD, there's no physical anything like that. It's all downloads. It's all the downloads that you get. For example, YouTube. I've got 10 million downloads. That means I make $1,000 per month on just this one video. I'm just spitting out the math there. I'm not telling you that's how it works, but for the most part, that's what happens. They're monetizing what they're doing. So there's their overhead is small. You pay a small guy like me for a studio. You rent the studio out here for, let's say, a couple $1,000s for a month, and you produce whatever kind of song you want, and then you put it up on SoundCloud, and all of a sudden it takes off big, and then you put the video up on YouTube, and that takes off big, and now you're making money hand over fist, and you've got no middleman, you've got no manager, you've got no record label, you've got no $50,000 a day studio time to pay for. So these young kids are like 17, 18, 20, 22, 25, 26 years old, have all this influx of cash and literally no one to hold them responsible, for what they do. And this is a new program called Dropping Cash. It's on Netflix.
Trying to see if I can spend all this money in one day.
It's like $55,000.
What the fuck? This is the biggest purchase of my life.
Oh, this is like paradise, man.
6 ricketies.
Chump change.
Yo, man, this place is crazy.
They ain't said nothing but a baller.
What is this?
They gonna call me the gold guard. Show me what you got.
My accountant's gonna be like, fuck you!
You know how we do it, let's go.
So it's kind of... It's
ball here.
It's time to skirt.
Yep. It's kind of like MTV Cribs, but because these guys have, like I said, they have no overhead. This money, you make $50,000, $100,000 a day, and it just keeps coming in. It keeps coming in as long as their video gets more play, more likes, and all that stuff. And you know what? We have a video here. It's called Under the Tent. Now, granted, we're not going to get 1 million some odd views. We're not going to get 40,000 subscribers. But you know what? For the most part, go to DeaconLive Radio, or go to go to Prophet Radio and become a follower of us on YouTube, and I'll put the link on that on the Prophet Radio website. And when we come back, are you sleeping clean? Because, with the storm and stuff, everyone gets their nerves once you've watched your Netflix shows. I want everyone to sleep clean. And I'll get into that a little bit more when we come back. You're listening to Deacon Live right here on Prophet Radio. I'll be right back. And now I'll switch. Hi, Clark.
Prophet Radio. Prophet Radio.
Check out what's new.
This is about what's going to happen. The setup.
Call 407 88
Please leave your message for
Jason Howell.
Hello?
The hard drive, it crashed.
Call 407-448-8800.
I've got a migraine, and my pain will range from up.
Do you know what sucks about internet radio?
Absolutely fucking nothing.
Been around playing video games, listening to radio.
What?
Well, she's asleep, so I had to go to the other room and talk to you.
Are you talking like this? Yeah. She farted just now.
That would be. I would hear the cats before I would hear her.
407-448-8800.
Prophet Radio. Prophet Radio.
Are you receiving me? Over.
Why don't you get us a couple more beers, Manuel? Instead of sitting up here talking shit like a bitch. I took you from your country.
Did he want to be taken from
Come
his
on,
country?
I took you from your... Excuse me?
Did he want to be taken from his country?
I don't know. I don't think so.
All right, well, that's good. Way to go. Way to keep him prisoner here, locked up in our...
He's not a prisoner. He's watching Netflix.
No, he's watching Nutfucks.
Big bricks.
Call 407
Big pricks.
448-8800.
That is awesome.
I think I have to take a break right now because of my hormones.
Okay. We're going to see.
Welcome back to Deacon Live. Oh, I hope everyone's doing okay out there. We're getting ready to go through this Hurricane Dorian. I went outside. The sky's getting a little darker out there. The time shift has changed. And I'm seeing the clouds move in from right to left, which means the storm's getting a little closer here at the French. And I'm hoping we'll go through unscathed. I do have the generator up there. I've got the power cords all ready to go. We do have, 20 some odd acres here, and when the power goes out, it is pitch black. I mean, it is pitch black. There's no highways around us. There's no, other than the stars and the sky above. But for the most part, the clouds will be covering most of that. So I've got two huge, almost like those Ingersoll generators that you see when people are doing construction work on the highways. I've got two of those out there on the French, just in case. We had some leftover people from running from Florida. Now the whole entire property is gone, or everyone is gone from the property, is what I should say. So now it's just me, my wife, and the animals here. So happy days so far. We're doing good. You know who else is doing good? I hate doing the segments like that. But you know what? Something that's going to make you feel a little bit gooder. Oh, God. Something that'll make you happy. Just put a little smile on your face, and I'll get into clean sleeping here in just one sec. There's this girl. You ever watch, like, the Olympics or anyone who does, like, gymnastics, and they do they run, and they explode. They boom off whatever, the pommel horse and stuff, and then they land, and sometimes they stumble or they fall or whatever, and then they stand up and smile and arms in the air and, jazz fingers and stuff. Like nothing happened. Like I did good, but I know I just busted my ass and blah, blah, blah. I guess this little girl, there's a video going around right now of this little girl that is actually, she's mimicking the landings that she saw, I guess, during the Olympics. Now, she is probably, I'm going to say 4 or 5 years old. Let me see if I can read this. Little gymnast is not always This little gymnastic may not always jump in the best manner, but her landings are always something made for the Olympics. During gym classes in Denver, Colorado, this little girl pulled off hilarious poses worthy of the final score of 10. So here we go. This little girl, she's Denver, Colorado. She's doing these things off the big puffy mattress thing that's probably as tall as she is, and she jumps off it and kind of does this like tuck and tumble. She might be 3 years old, she might be 2 years old, but when she jumps off, she lands, I mean, literally on her face, and then stands up and if you're watching this on the under the tent, she jumps, lands, butt first, stands up, and does the whole fake smile, hands in the air. So she's seen that somewhere on TV, and she looks like she's having a good time. She looks like she's not getting hurt, and that's the best part. She looks like she's having a great time there. So if you're watching this on under the tent, there's the video on the main screen right there. Now, do you guys sleep clean? Now, what do you mean when you say sleep clean? Now, everyone eats clean. Everyone does the... Hold on. Like clean eating, clean sleeping believes that your overall well-being depends on the decisions that you make to help you get the best, healthiest night of sleep. To achieve this, you have to follow a few basic rules. Here's one. No drinking caffeine after 2 o'clock. All right, I can... I think I took an energy pill here probably about 2 hours ago. No electrical devices at least 1 hour before bedtime. Well, for the most part, me and my wife are sitting there. She's got work to do and I got work to do before we go to bed, and we click them off almost at the same time we go to bed. Set a strict bedtime. Keep the room dark and cool. Now, for the most part, our bedroom's pretty much dark, and we had that little portable AC. Whether we don't want to cool the whole entire house, but I'm not going to get into that. But we have that little R2D2 thing, and we like to keep the room. It keeps our bedroom almost like 66 degrees. It's awesome. It's awesome. It's a little plug-in guy. Works very well. So yeah, it keeps the room nice and cool. It also says buy a copper pillow. I'm going to get into that here in just one sec. Now, here's some rules about getting some clean sleep. It says read before bedtime is the best. Now, I don't know about you, but if I read a book within 3 pages, I could be wide awake. I could read 3 pages. Boom, I'm going right to sleep. Turning off my phone allows me to unplug from stress of social media and helps me doze off. Reading and gives me much nicer dreams rather than stressful nightmares that I normally get. Well, if you have nightmares, then you have your own problem. All right, here we go. Number 2, falling asleep at the same time every night. I do that. I usually wrap up everything about 8 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock. And then I'm usually in bed and stuff by 9:30, 10 o'clock. We're usually wrapping it up. And my wife, same thing. So it says go to bed between 7 and 9. It all depends on what time you have to wake up. Falling asleep, no alcohol before bed. Now, for the most part, my wife likes to have a glass of wine. I like to have a beer or two, but we don't usually drink right up till bedtime. So, for example, there's a cutoff time. I usually have a cutoff time, and she comes in and she'll have 1 or 2 glasses of wine before she goes to bed. But her last glass of wine is usually about anywhere from 90 minutes to, 75 minutes before she goes to bed. Which is okay. That's fine, right? My last drink's usually, I say my last drink. I usually cut off like between 7 and 7:30 because there's stuff that I have to do. And anyways, Copper-infused pillows are the ultimate luxury. You do not need to buy a copper-infused pillow from Amazon, but the copper oxide fibers reduce the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. So that's why I look so young. There are plenty on the market, but the best reviews come from whatever it's $60. I have one of those copper infused pillows and I like it. It got I bought like the $15 one. So it's not really like the stuffing really hasn't kept its shape. But for the most part, I like it. And it says it makes me feel, or makes your skin feel rejuvenated. Yeah, I look pretty good. I look pretty good. Well, you can see me on the video on the under the tent thing. I know I'm going to crush that right into the ground. So, and one thing I should do is get the Sleep Cycle app. When I first decided to go to clean sleeping, this is the article. I wanted some way scientifically to measure the quantity of sleep that didn't require checking into a sleep clinic. Lo and behold, I found Sleep Cycle, an app that uses an accelerometer meter inside your phone and monitors the movements of your sleep. Before you go to bed, put it in a 30-minute period during which you need to wake up, blah, 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 and stuff like that, gentle vibrations, and lightly sleep stage. So there is a Sleep Cycle app on your phone, and when you do that, then by all means, you can feel how much it helps you sleep at night. So, with that being said, I hope everyone sleeps well tonight and for the rest of the week. Hopefully the storm has not disrupted anything in your lifestyle, anything that has, you guys have survived without a whole lot of damage, if any damage at all to your properties during this storm. I'd like to thank each and every one of you for listening to me, putting up with me for the last hour or so. I'm going to let you guys get back to what you guys got to do. On behalf of myself and all the articles and all the fans on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, my name is Deacon saying good night and good night.
Oh, no. Wait, come back.
This is the end, the absolute end.
Écoute-moi.